This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 17th day of February in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The government is in the process of finalizing the details of the agreement for the beginning of the construction of the Mygpl hydropower project and is hoping to get it started before the end of this year. Under an agreement with the China Railway Group, the Chinese company will fully finance and build the project out and hold on to its management and operations for 20 years. At the end of those 20 years, it will then be handed over to the government of Guyana at no cost to the government. Once the project becomes operational, Guyana will buy power from the hydropower project to supply to the national grid. The cost is expected to be much lower than the current purchasing price for power, and consumers are likely to see a reduction in their bills.
This project, which we expect will start this year and be online by 2026, will deliver 165 megawatts of power into the grid. We'll have an average price over the 20-year period of about 7.7 cents, but that price, that project will have a life of 75 to 100 years. And after the 20 years, we get that free, and we only pay for the operating and maintenance cost. And all of the capital cost to take us to commissioning date is being borne by the developer.
The project is being overlooked on the government side by Winston Brassington, who is attached to the Ministry of Natural Resources. During his presentation at the ongoing International Energy Conference, Mr. Brassington also explained that with an increasing demand for electricity and energy locally, the hydro project will be ideal to cater to a fast-changing Guyana.
We have much better terms than we did in 2015. The developer is taking most of the risk. The government is not making any financial commitments. So there's no money from the IDB, and there's no money from Norway for this project. This is a project being financed by China Rail.
Brassington told the Energy Conference that the project should come on stream by 2026, and although the government will not be investing its money into the project, it will be closely monitoring its development.
We will ensure that when this project is being built, it is supervised. So we will have a world-class independent supervision firm. Similarly, the operating and maintenance of this plant will be independently tendered. All of the contracts that we're using are world-class contracts. These contracts were developed over many years, between 2010 and 2012. When Blackstone was the sponsor.
The official also assured that all the contracts covering the project are well tested and sufficient due diligence has been done to ensure everything stands up to international standards. The hydropower project has been talked about for years. There was an attempt in 2013 to get the project on the way, but that effort was short-lived as it hit a number of stumbling blocks. It was completely shelved under the coalition government as there were concerns about its costs and contractors. More news coming up in just a moment.
How fast is fiber? Think fast. GTT Fiber has 3 packages with download speeds of 50, 100, and 150 megabits per second. That's fast enough to stream movies and music, to chat with Gran and Fran, to study, and more. What would you do? Upgrade to GTT Fiber today and don't get left behind tomorrow.
Guyana's 2022 International Energy Conference and Expo, under the theme Charting a Sustainable Energy Future, will be hosted at the Guyana Marriott from the 15th to the 18th of February 2022. Meet and engage with energy leaders from around the world. The conference will feature addresses from His Excellency President Irfan Ali, His Excellency Vice President Bharat Jagdeo, Honorable Prime Minister Mark Phillips, His Excellency Chandrika Prasad Santoki, Honorable Prime Minister Mia Motley, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, and many other highly esteemed speakers. Charting a Sustainable Energy Future, Guyana's 2022 International Energy Conference and Expo.
Miss Smash Queen Guyana 2022 National Pride Costume Competition and Coronation. Sunday, February 20th at 1900 hours at the Ramada Georgetown Princess Hotel. Come, witness our 6 ambassadors vie for the crown as we mash down, mask up, and make melody.
People may forget the present you bought for them, but they'll never forget your scent. Find your signature fragrance at Elite Fragrances and Trade-In, located at 123 Region Road Border between Ornock Street and Shiv Chandapal Drive. Call 619-5151 or 227-1255. Get a designer fragrance for yourself or loved one that they will never forget.
It's here. Introducing the Mygpl customer portal, a convenient way to access all your account information in one location. To sign up, it's easy. Simply go to https:/my.gplinc.com. After signing up, you will receive a confirmation email. Once logged in, view your postpaid account, monitor your consumption, view current charges and payment history, retrieve current and previous bills, and submit meter readings. Mygpl customer portal. Access to all your account information from your PC, tablet, or mobile phone at your convenience. Sign up today. For more information, contact our customer call center on 226-2600.
Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
Welcome back. Let's turn to the aviation sector. With increased travel taking place between the U.S. city of Houston, Texas and Georgetown, Guyana, owing to the oil and gas sector, regional carrier Caribbean Airlines is getting set to announce the start of direct flights between Georgetown and Houston. The new service is expected to begin within weeks, according to sources close to the airline industry in Guyana. It will be a major boost for travel to Guyana and the ExxonMobil company, which is headquartered in Houston. News source understands that Caribbean Airlines is also planning expansions to a number of other destinations as it seeks to take advantage of the increased interest in Guyana because of the oil and gas sector and the major investments that are taking place in the country. Caribbean Airlines will be using its new 737-8 aircraft on the new route. The recently acquired aircraft are some of the most advanced in commercial air travel and are all well suited for long flights. Meanwhile, Canadian flag carrier Air Canada is also paying attention to all that's happening in Guyana and is in talks with the government about the possible startup of Air Canada services to Guyana. On Wednesday, a team from Air Canada met and held talks with President Irfan Ali and the government team about its possible entry into the Guyana skies. The government of Guyana appears confident that Air Canada is strongly considering a Guyana service. Presently, Caribbean Airlines is the only carrier that offers flights between Guyana and Canada. Well, as Guyana continues to face the issue of not having sufficient power to meet the growing demand, the Guyana Energy Agency is pushing to have at least 70% of the country's energy coming from renewable energy resources. That's according to the Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Energy Agency, Dr. Mahendra Sharma. He made a statement during his presentation to the International Energy Conference.
This graph shows is that by 2030, based on our projections, 30% of our energy is going to come from renewable energy. And by 2040, that goes up to 70% with a combination of hydro, wind, and solar.
Dr. Sharma also said the move comes even as Guyana now depends heavily on fossil and solar power generation. However, it was noted that with the growing demand for more energy and to honor the country's obligation to reduce greenhouse emissions, moves will have to be made to invest more in renewable energy.
In terms of greenhouse gas emissions, if we were to remain on the trajectory business as usual, the top line shows what our baseline emissions would look like. If we were only to use natural gas, the yellow line shows where we will be. But if we incorporate renewable energy, hydro, wind, and solar, you see an almost flattening of that curve over the years to come.
Sharma said Guyana will still remain a country with balanced energy.
But to do this, we need to do many other things. Grid modernization. It's important that we get the grid to perform the way we need it to. The outages, some of them are driven by those issues, and significant amounts of investment are needed to get to that point. Incorporating smart meters, smart technology, making the grid more responsive to the demand dynamics that are present. Intermittent energy needs to be managed as well.
Guyana currently uses about $150 million worth of electricity and is still dependent on fossil fuel. Health matters to report now. The Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, is advocating for persons who suffer from Down syndrome to get vaccinated against COVID-19, since they are at a very high risk of serious complications if they contract the virus. Down syndrome is a condition that causes a delay in the physical and mental development of a person. It is usually diagnosed just after birth and is considered a disability. During his COVID-19 update today, the Minister of Health said Down syndrome is also a comorbidity, and therefore persons affected by it should get vaccinated for increased protection.
Persons with this particular disease would have a number of problems. So they're more prone to have heart problems, problems with their digestive tract. Some of them would have problems with leukemia. So these patients generally would have what we will call a number of comorbidities, and therefore if they're not vaccinated and they get COVID, they will have a more severe form of the disease.
In Guyana, while the number of persons who suffer from Down syndrome is small, the majority of them are unvaccinated. Dr. Anthony said the vaccines remain safe and offer the best fight against COVID-19. He also said the side effects for persons with Down syndrome would be the same as anyone else.
Like with any other person who will come to get vaccinated, when you get the vaccine, some people might have pain at the site of vaccination. Some of them might get fever. Some would have sore muscle. So these are general side effects that persons would get when they get vaccinated, and it's the same thing for Down's patients.
The Ministry of Health has been continuing its campaign to get more persons vaccinated against COVID-19. 83% of Guyana's adult population has received a first dose of one of the vaccines, while 63% of persons are fully vaccinated. Although there will be no Mashramani parade this year because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Ministry of Culture is moving ahead with the hosting of its song competitions for juniors and seniors. The Calypso competition will take place on Friday night, while the Soca Monarch will be held on Saturday night, and on Sunday they'll see the hosting of the Chutney Monarch competition. All of the competitions will be held at the National Stadium at Providence and will be open to vaccinated patrons. In the case of the Calypso Monarch, admission is free, but persons will have to show their vaccination card and ID card for entry to the event. The Soca Monarch on Saturday night will be hosted as a cooler fete in partnership with Hits and Jams Entertainment. Persons will be allowed to take their own drinks to the event, but will also have to be fully vaccinated to be allowed entry. The Soca Monarch and the Chutney Monarch shows are both ticketed events, with those tickets on sale at the Hits and Jams box office in Queenstown. Organizer Curran Bullis told News Source that with the COVID-19 numbers down and the vaccination numbers up, permission has been granted to host the events in a safe space.
Well, the event, as you mentioned, they're all events put together by the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport. What we're going to be doing is all vaccinated events. So the first step to attend the event is that you must be vaccinated. To purchase your ticket, you will have to provide your vaccination card and an ID to get those tickets and also to get into the venue. We only will be doing about 30% capacity. So there's a limited amount of tickets that will be sold for the event. The National Stadium tarmac holds somewhere around 25,000 people. So I think that we'll be able to maintain decent social distancing. We will have the temperature checks at the venue. So before you even get into the venue, you'll have to go through the temperature test, and also you'll have all the sanitation booths and stuff like that here.
And this weekend we'll also see the hosting of a Miss Mashramani Queen pageant at the Princess Ramada Hotel on Saturday evening, and the steel pan competition in the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall on Sunday afternoon. COVID-19 protocols will be in place for both of those events. A 58-year-old pork knocker lost his life on Monday when a mining pit collapsed and buried him at the Highwood Back Dam in the Northwest District. Police have identified the dead man as Christopher Bunbury of Matthews Ridge. According to the investigators, the southern wall of the dugout mining pit, which was more than 22 feet in depth, collapsed and covered the man completely. At the time of the incident, Bunbury and the workmate were digging at the bottom of the same wall that collapsed. The workmate managed to escape and alert other workers, but Bunbury remained buried for more than 45 minutes. His lifeless body was eventually removed from the pit and examined by the police. Investigators who said that there were no marks of violence on the body. The body has since been placed in cold storage at the Port Kaituma Hospital until a post-mortem examination is completed. Mygpl Special and all other Mygpl lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc. Mygpl Special and all other Mygpl lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc.
Miss Smash Queen Guyana 2022 National Pride Costume Competition and Coronation. Sunday, February 20th at 1900 hours at the Ramada Georgetown Princess Hotel. Come, witness our 6 ambassadors vie for the crown as we mash down, mask up, and make melody.
Guyana's 2022 International Energy Conference and Expo, under the theme Charting a Sustainable Energy Future, will be hosted at the Guyana Marriott from the 15th to the 18th of February 2022. Meet and engage with energy leaders from around the world. The conference will feature addresses from His Excellency President Irfan Ali, His Excellency Vice President Bharat Jagdeo, Honorable Prime Minister Mark Phillips, His Excellency Chandrika Prasad Santoki, Honorable Prime Minister Mia Motley, His Excellency Nana Afuko Addo, and many other highly esteemed speakers. Charting a Sustainable Energy Future, Guyana's 2022 International Energy Conference and Expo.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get your
color.
Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, more than 1 million people were without electricity from just around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon to late last night in Trinidad as the country was hit by an island-wide power outage. The situation continued for over 10 hours with a domino effect on the nation's water supply, as 107 of the country's booster stations were shut down, and police were forced to implement an overnight emergency plan to ensure the safety on the roads and to prevent opportunities for criminals. The lights went out at 12:52 in the afternoon, and within minutes it became clear that the problem was vast as thousands took to social media, stating that they had lost electricity from various parts of the island. Tobago was unaffected. Businesses and government offices soon began to close, and as people drove home, the non-functional traffic lights presented another challenge. Police officers were deployed to the streets in many areas to guard against collisions and to keep order. In neighboring Brazil, more than 100 people have died in landslides and flash flooding in the Brazilian city of Petropolis. Officials there have confirmed. The city, which is located in the mountains north of Rio de Janeiro, was hit by torrential rainfall yesterday. Houses in hillside neighborhoods were destroyed and cars swept away as floodwaters raced through the city's streets. Search and rescue teams were combing the mud for survivors into this morning. Brazil's National Civil Defense Commission said that 24 people had been rescued alive by Wednesday night. Videos shared on social media showed extensive damage and vehicles floating in the streets. With more than 30 people reported missing, one official said the search and rescue efforts will continue non-stop. And finally tonight, international news. Russia is preparing to fabricate a reason to invade Ukraine, the US says, warning that an attack could happen in the coming days. Earlier today, US President Joe Biden said military action could begin imminently, but stressed that a diplomatic solution was still possible. His top foreign policy official later listed several ways Moscow could stage justification for an attack. Russia said the claims were baseless and accused the US of stoking tensions. It has repeatedly denied any plan to invade its eastern neighbor. Moscow insists it is moving troops away from the Ukrainian border, but that claim has been fiercely contested by Western powers. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.